What's up everyone, Wolfman here, back at it again with another LEGO Star Wars review, and today we're doing another Clone Wars era starfighter, as what the title up above would say. I am doing it on the ARC-170 starfighter. Now before I get into the review, just another reminder on the reviews I am doing that are going to be leading up to my review on my Grand Fleet, which will consist of both good guy and bad guy starships and even those in between. So that's something to look forward to. I am going to be mentioning this for every single review that I do. So bear with me, but it's only a brief moment. I'm not going to be explaining it. But it is something I would welcome anyone who is a Lego Star Wars fan to come to tune in for that special video, which is coming up on the last Saturday of the month of November. So I do believe it's going to be the week of Thanksgiving. I'm going to be doing that full review, unless I'm going to make any attempts or strive to do so. With that out of the way, and without further ado, onto the review. And here it is, set number 8088, the ARC-170 Starfighter, a set that was released back in 2010, has 396 pieces and comes with 4 minifigures. We're going to start with Jedi Master Kit Fisto, Clone Captain Jag, a regular clone pilot, and the astromech droid R4P44. I'm going to go ahead and get into start off with the clone troop with the minifigures here. As you can see in the photo, this is a close-up of them. This is actually, and I'm going to start with Kit Fisto. This is actually the second time he's actually been included in a LEGO set. The first one being Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. That was another older set, but that one came with a Jedi with a hyperspace ring. No, we'll not be doing a review on that. That ring is gone, and the Starfighter has been since upgraded. So, anywho, I like the design on Kit Fisto, although it's been several years since we actually got another head molding of this guy. But for his alien species, I actually like it a lot. Although he is the only one of his kind they've actually done in Lego form, so it's a little unfortunate they didn't do they haven't done any other characters, but there haven't been enough of other ones that are well known or just as infamous as other characters. But anyways, the second figure is Clone Captain Jag. He was actually featured in episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. He was the one who shot down Plo Koon when Order 66 was active. If you didn't see Revenge of the Sith, he was flying the ARC-170 Starfighter following Plo Koon in his Starfighter when he shot him down and setting another infamous Jedi pretty much into a fiery blaze. Anyways, the other figure is another clone pilot, but this one's basically a standard. There aren't any real distinguished designs that was done on his helmet like they did for Captain Jag, so nothing too special. And of course, the last one being an astromech. And this one actually has green markings on it, as you have seen in the picture before. And this is I think this is one of the more better designs, or when they redid the head for astromech droids. The one prominent one they've done is the infamous R2, but at that time, I think that was in the early 2000s, but I believe starting in the 2010s, they started changing the dome heads quite drastically, and they actually were able to fill in the whole headpiece on these droids, so it's actually quite the improvement, and they've really come a long ways on color designs on astromechs, and I think this is one of the more featured ones that actually stand out because of the green head, and I'm a big fan of that. I mean, it's well detailed and well featured, and good choice on the color. And of course, none of these guys, mainly the 2 clone pilots, they do not have a second face. They just have the standard ones, but their back designs are actually quite well detailed. I believe even Kit Fisto has a design back, but you really can't see it because the rest of his head pretty much covers the rest of his back. But the clone pilots definitely have some detailing on their backs. And the only complaint I would have is I wish they actually had a full 3 clone pilots, but that's just unfortunate. So that's really my only complaint on that front. So I'll go ahead and put these guys to the side and just move on to the actual starfighter. Now, this sucker definitely is an actual predecessor to the X-Wing starfighter. I mean, this sucker does have S foils. It does have it can house an astromech, but annoyingly, it houses 3 pilots. I mean, this starfighter was meant to be a recon. I mean, the ARC, oh, I can't remember what it stands for. Advanced Recon something. I don't know. If anyone knows what what the ARC really stands for, feel free to leave a comment down below because I do not know. But anyways, this fighter was meant to be a recon ship, basically. I mean, it's why you got 3 pilots. You got the main cockpit up front, then you got a second pilot, but you also got a gunner in the back, which is actually a nice touch. I mean, that's one of the few starfighters you can get that are out there other than a Clone Wars era Y-Wing bomber that actually does have a gunner, but this one's all the way in the back, which I may as well go ahead and show you guys anyways. It does come with a couple of blasters that can go 180 degrees, and they can be positioned, but quite frankly, that's just a little annoying. And what's more annoying is they are pretty loose. I mean, let me try and show you guys here. You can definitely tell that it's just a little bit sloppy. It will flop around if it's not tightened or pressed onward, but yeah, that's how you basically make it not really flop around. But aside from that, I mean, this fighter is well put together, and this one's actually I modified a bit. For starters, in the original model, the wing bits here are actually maroon, like most of the other prominent colored features on this fighter, and the engine thrusters are not red, like I purposely did on this design. And one other thing I actually did put in were stud launchers. I mean, I actually purposely put these in on both wing bits, which is actually a nice touch. And granted, if LEGO Star Wars does another variant, they should at least put those in. But I was able with the stud launchers on both wingtips. They actually fit in quite well. I mean, given the black color pieces, they actually blend in quite well. You can barely tell. I mean, you could probably barely tell from what you're seeing on your screen, but in general, I don't think you really can tell unless you look close enough. Maybe. But yeah, like I said before, this thing does have 3 slots for pilots. All these cockpits do open. You get the pilot, the co-pilot, and the gunner, and the slot in the middle, right here, is where the astromech goes. And of course, this thing does have a few stickers. I mean, if you can look close enough, so I can try and get as close. If you guys can see or make out an arm with a hand and a data pad screen, it's the same thing on the other side. And that's just one feature that they did. I mean, this is actually the second ARC-170 starfighter that they did. The first one they did was back in, I believe, 2005 for Revenge of the Sith. The pieces here were actually translucent. They did not have the stickers, which, quite frankly, if they did stick with the translucent pieces, it would look a little obnoxious in my opinion. So just making it a solid color and just putting the stickers in, it just makes it less obnoxious. And once again, in my opinion. But anywho, like I mentioned before, this thing does have S foils. It's a gear function. I wonder if I can get this to work. Okay, there it goes. Although it does take a little bit of a while. I mean, this was a set that was done. Oh, when was it released again? 2010? Yeah, so this is actually a 22-year-old set. Excuse me, 12-year-old set. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this set was released back in 2010, and like I said before, again, and the S-foil features were a little bit crude, I would say. It does take a while, but it actually holds quite well. And one of the feature is you can actually put a few flick missiles in here, and the same gear that you use to turn, it actually launches, and yeah, you can see the bottom there where the mechanism is used to flick the missiles out. Now, of course, I don't deal with that kind of stuff because I hate to lose those kinds of pieces. But yeah, I actually do like this fighter. Its design is reminiscent of an X-Wing, mainly the S-foils. But I think one of my few complaints are some of the designs in the insides of the cockpits. They don't exactly come with detailing, or I think they did or they didn't. I don't really recall. I only recently rebuilt this sucker along with 3 others some years ago, and they've just been lying in a plastic container or in a big case for actually quite a long time. But yeah, you heard me right. I have 3 other ones like this of the same era, so I got a total of 4 ARC-170 starfighters, which you will see in the review of the Grand Fleet eventually. But a well put together fighter, I would say. It's a little bit on the flimsy side, especially the wings. Look at that, it's a bird. Ain't that adorable? But yeah, it's a little bit on the flimsy side, but it's not that heavy though, so not really. I don't think I have any too many complaints about this fighter. But fortunately, when it's on the ground, thanks to the gun placements on the wingtips, they actually just settle on any kind of surface, so it's actually quite evened out quite nicely. Yeah, I would say this is a better improvement of the very first version of the ARC-170 Starfighter. But I'm glad I went with this than its predecessor, because of course, frankly, this is way better, and I'd be surprised if in the near future LEGO Star Wars would come out with another variant of the ARC fighter, which personally I don't think I would do, because I love this fighter. I wouldn't get rid of it or any of the other ones that I have. And I'm actually going to do some more modifications with this. This sucker would eventually be part of one of my clone division armies. So I don't think there's really anything much else to talk about, so that is my review. So that was my review on the ARC-170 Starfighter, and if you happen to like that video, please feel free to leave a like down below and leave a comment. I would love to hear some feedback and your own personal opinion on what you think on the ARC-170 Starfighter. And if you have one of the other versions, or if both versions, which one is your favorite? Because personally, I like this one a lot better than the first one, even though I never got it. But yeah, other than that, if you happen to be new here on the channel, and if you like what you see, please once again, like, comment, and come join the Wolfpack by hitting the red subscribe button down below. And for more content like this, for as long as it will keep going, which I'm going to slowly phase out of, unfortunately, but I got plenty of other reviews that are going to be coming out all leading up to the review on my Grand Fleet. That's left to remind you that Jesus loves you more than Elmo and Barney. I'll see you guys next time.